Why does Disney always make IP franchise-based attractions? Why can't they ever make an original attraction, or at least not in the last 15 years? We're going to talk about it up next. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Orange Grove 55. So in this video, I'm going to kind of discuss with you like the situation with Disney in general in regards to, in my opinion, why they're constantly making attractions at Disney parks only based on franchises or IP or whatever you want to call it. I got a great question from a subscriber. I'm going to read you his question and then we're going to dive right in. All right. So Mr. Matthew Sanchez writes, any thoughts of Disney building a creative and original attraction? Expedition Everest was the latest original attraction, and we have not received one for 15 years. What are your thoughts about this? Okay, Matthew, first of all, thank you so much, brother, for submitting your question. It's a great one. Thank you so much. So Matthew, it really comes down to, in my opinion, risk. Disney puts a lot of money, into these attractions, right? And it's not even just the money. It's also like if Disney pours a lot of money into a movie and the movie flops, they can kind of easily bury the movie. It is never to be seen again, no problem. But with an attraction, it's a physical building. It's a huge building in some cases, and you can't just kind of ignore it like you do a movie that flops, right? So there's a huge amount of investment there that's put into those attractions. So Disney wants to know beforehand that this is going to be a safe investment. Okay, now having it based on a franchise or an IP kind of gives them a little bit of a safety net. If you create an attraction based on the MCU, or Star Wars, or Frozen, or Moana, or name your franchise here, there's a built-in audience that comes with that franchise. So when, fans of that franchise see the commercials on TV or on the billboards or online for a new Frozen attraction, oh, I like Frozen. I'll check out the new Frozen ride at Epcot. Oh, I like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'll go check out the new Avengers campus at Disney California Adventure. There's a built-in audience. It's a lot less risky to build those kind of attractions. Now, if you built an original attraction with original characters, original storyline, you're putting a lot of money into that attraction or even land or whatever. And it's a gamble. It's a huge gamble because you don't know if the new story or the new characters are going to catch fire, if they're going to be a hit. Okay, they might be, but what if they're not? Right? What if they're not? And a lot of people point to Pirates of the Caribbean started off as an original attraction. Haunted Mansion started off as an original attraction. And look how popular those are. The difference with those attractions is they were built in a different era, right? They were. It was a different time back in like the 60s than it is now in 2021. And those attractions have had generations, decade after decade after decade of like my parents taking me on those attractions and me taking my kids on those attractions and your kids taking their kids on those attractions. So there's a generational thing there that keeps those attractions popular. It's much different to open a brand new original concept today. Right? Like a lot of these companies like Disney, they don't have generations to see if these attractions, these original attractions are going to turn a profit or not. They have to generate money now. So the best way to do that, attach the Marvel Cinematic Universe to it, attach Star Wars to it, attach a Disney princess to it, or what have you, right? So that's really what it comes down to, Matthew. It's a risk assessment. It's a lot less risky. And to be honest with you too, the general public, look, Matthew, if you watch my channel, I know you do, and I appreciate your support. But if you're watching my channel, you are also a Disney nerd like myself, right? And as fellow Disney nerds, we want those original attractions. We love that stuff. And I agree with you. I want to see more of that. But we're not the same as the general public. The general public, by and large, does not care. They want the Frozen ride. They don't care about the original attraction. They want the ride based on Spider-Man. They want the ride based on Han Solo or Star Wars or whatever it is. Insert IP here. They want those things. We as Disney nerds, we want more of that creative kind of originality, right? It's just unfortunately we are a niche kind of market. Disney's really kind of catering towards the general public because that's where the money is. So that's your answer. I mean, that really is where it's at. It's a risk management. And look, you mentioned here specifically, we have not received an original ride in the last 15 years, pretty much around the time that Bob Iger took over. Now, I evangelize about Bob Iger all the time. I think Bob Iger did a phenomenal job as Disney CEO. Not only was he a great businessman, but he's also a visionary. I'm a huge Bob Iger fan. But one thing about Bob Iger, though, is he was not a fan of non-IP stuff. He just wasn't. He didn't have a lot of faith in that. He wanted Disney to be an IP machine, a brand machine. Michael Eisner was a little more open. Yeah, Michael Eisner did the IP thing as well. You have to as a Disney CEO. But Michael Eisner had a little more faith in those non-franchise based attractions. Not so much with Bob Iger, and really going into this new Bob Chapek era, I don't see that changing anytime soon. I think Bob Chapek will also continue Bob Iger's legacy in that regard, in regards to continuing that IP focused kind of momentum. It's just the industry we're in. The general public loves it. It's less risky financially, and that's the route they're going to go, unfortunately, Matthew. But thank you, sir. I do appreciate you submitting that question. It was a fantastic question. Comment below. What do you guys think about Disney and why they are building only IP based attractions? Why have they abandoned the originality, the original concept they used to do many years ago, 15 plus years ago, decades ago? Why did they abandon that? Right? So do you agree with my theory? Do you disagree with my theory? I'd love to hear from you. Comment below. I do content on Disney parks, Marvel, Star Wars, Disney Plus, all of it, all the time. And as always, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, y'all.